this case, we're not dealing with the smartest person in the world. We know that from all the things we've seen. Seriously, she's not.
Yeah.
She's nice and she's smart. And I mean, fairly, she can get along in the world by herself, but she doesn't know those things, all the intricacies of society, of the social norms and things you should and shouldn't do. She doesn't know those.
Hi, all. Welcome to Reading Royals with body language expert Scott Rouse, and I'm Kinsey Schofield. Reading Royals brings history, headlines, and human behavior together in a way that only Scott and I can. We go beyond palace press releases and carefully staged photo ops to look at what's really being communicated. Now, I know that you have yet to read Tom Bower's Revenge, Scott. I just feel that about you, but that might be Christmas gift 2026 for you.
Okay.
Tom Bower's Revenge. Well, no, I'll get you a twofer. Tom Bower's Revenge, which came out a few years ago, and Betrayal, which is his latest book that's coming out, all about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And I wanted to talk to you about some of his newest revelations in Betrayal, which comes out March 26th, because Harry and Meghan are having a conniption fit over these reveals. You know how they release parts of a book throughout certain media entities,
Yeah.
like right before they come out to tease it? Well, the Times is getting all of the best Tom Bower bits for
Huh.
Betrayal. And so he's talking a lot about Invictus, which we've talked about before. Invictus Games that's the charity that Prince Harry set up, and it's a competition between wounded warriors. And we both love that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in for that.
And so in his new book, he went to the Canadian Games, and I have video from the Canadian Games. So I want to talk a little bit about the revelations from his new book, and I want to look back at some of the video from the Canadian Games and get your opinion on what's really going on there, because that's what we
Okay.
do. That's what we do
All
on
right.
Reading Royals. So have you ever heard of Tom Bauer before, or is
I've
this the
heard the
first
name,
time?
but I don't know what he does.
So he's a very good, like, fear for your life investigative journalist. Like, you
Oh, I know
never,
who you're talking. I know exactly who you're talking about. Okay, I
yeah.
thought you meant he was an author of, like those, Crichton and all those people wrote mystery books or something.
No, he is like, he wrote a great book about Boris Johnson. He wrote this
Yeah.
book called Rebel Prince about King Charles before he became King Charles. You don't want him to write a book about you because he really does pierce into your life.
Hmm.
And let's take a look at some of the revelations in his new book. So it's called Betrayal, Power, Deceit, and the Fight for the Future of the Royal Family. And he's made several highly critical claims regarding the Invictus Games, which we're checking out today, describing them as having become a vehicle for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's personal brand, rather than focusing on veterans, which I can say as a royal reporter, Scott, is something that I hear every Invictus Games, that there are some competitors that feel like Harry and Meghan suck all of the oxygen out of the room and it's not
Uh,
about them.
the real men and real women.
The
That's what
heroes,
it is.
yeah, the heroes
Yeah.
that have literally
Oh,
sacrificed so much for their country. So
yeah.
here are the key allegations from his new book. Bauer suggests that the 2025 games in Canada were overshadowed by Meghan Markle's public appearances, referring to the event as the Meghan Games. He cites Canadian executives who allegedly felt Meghan was a distraction and that her presence was more about bling than veteran rehabilitation. He also talks about, and I know for a fact he was there, so he's experiencing these things firsthand, the staged atmosphere. At a 2025 wheelchair basketball match, Bauer claims only 43 paying spectators attended. He alleges that about 100 people were corralled around Harry and Meghan by organizers specifically for photo opportunities to create the false impression of high engagement. Oh, they would never do something like that, Scott Rouse.
No,
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 not
that's so
these
nice.
guys. They're way above that. He also says, and I only am going to mention this to you because Harry and Meghan specifically respond to this. Questioning competitor injuries. In a controversial passage, Bauer describes a match between a Nigerian team and an American team. He notes that while the Nigerian players had visible physical injuries, such as missing limbs, the American players, who he says were professionally trained, suffered from PTSD. He claims the American team wheeled themselves into a private area after the game and then all got up and walked away, appearing to have no physical injuries. Some people are really fired up about this. I'm torn. I don't feel like I'm allowed to have an opinion.
Hmm.
Do you feel the same
No,
way?
yeah, PTSD is that's pretty heavy duty stuff, and it depends on, I guess, how you're marketing that to the Invictus Games or whatever. So yeah, that thing they see and do some horrible things. So I can't go against that. I got to
Yeah.
stick up for us,
No,
you
no, no.
know.
I'm glad you said that. Thank you for saying that and
Yeah.
explaining that. Strategic return. Bauer alleges that Harry plotted the 2027 Invictus Games, something Scott and I will be covering for you in Birmingham, to serve as a high-profile, triumphant return to the UK for the Sussexes, potentially with King Charles opening the event to provide a royal backdrop for the couple and their children. That is so cringe yet important to what we cover because that would be wild if the king agreed to that. So, responses to Bauer's claim, the Invictus Games Foundation and representatives for Prince Harry condemned these claims as disgusting and deeply disrespectful. Scott, they were also especially upset about the PTSD comment, and based on what you just said to me, they were kind of in the right there.
Hmm. Yeah, I can't. Again, PTSD is such a the things that everybody thinks they know what war is. At war, you see some horrible things, but that's all they know is they see horrible things and
Yeah,
do. Man, we have no idea no clue what that's like and what that'll do to your head when you come
right,
home. It's
right.
unbelievable. Yeah,
Right. All right. So
bad.
maybe a little fair to suggest that the PTSD comment was unfair, but
Yeah.
I have to I'm gonna say like I trust Tom Bauer with every fiber of my being with all of his observations. So I am so curious about your reaction to this. I let me show you this video, and I remember
Why don't you tell everybody where you are?
I'm in Scott's basement.
Because she's acting up.
I'm in New
That's
York
why.
City. You're so right. I should have said, like, I'm in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'm in New York. I love New York. I'm in New York City. Also, just because I'm being cheesy with all of my little tourist stuff, let me show you my Empire State Building Godzilla hair clip because
oh,
that's important that you know I own that as well. So yes, I'm in New York City, and Scott was so gracious to be like, we can do shows on the move. We can do shows on the run. And here
yeah.
we are. So this video is wild. Meghan Markle moves a veteran's wheelchair without their permission. And I remember seeing this and dying a little inside at the time. Last year, around February of last year, Meghan faced criticism after moving an Invictus Game attendee's wheelchair during a Team Canada event. And the clip shared online, you see her just kind of like grab this person's chair and reposition them for this group photo. And Scott, I'll be honest, I don't think I would have noticed anything about this had other people in the disability community raised concern. I saw some people saying like a wheelchair is an
Yeah,
extension
you
of
can't be
someone's
doing that.
personal space. Yeah, you should never move without consent.
Mm-mm.
And I'm glad to hear you say that you don't think that that was right. I'm going to
No, it's like if
share.
you were sitting down and I came and started moving your chair around as you're sitting there to get you a better shot for me. What I find odd here is not what Megan's doing, but what is Harry doing? He's dancing around right in front of that girl.
Yeah,
And when you just cut into it like that quickly, you go, what's this guy doing? That seemed like the uncool part to me. However, a person's wheelchair, you can't be doing that. That's like I said before, it's like if you were sitting down and I was going to get a picture of me with some people too, and you were there and you were just in your seat and I scooted your chair around without saying anything to you, you'd be, what are you doing?
right.
So that's rude. That's rude. That's part of you. You know
And
what I
we
mean?
talk sometimes about like her. I don't know if this is related to narcissism or what, but we talk a lot about her control issues. And actually, oh, let me read you this quote from the Variety article that came out today
Okay.
because this is kind of similar to what we're talking about. Control issues. Like, I don't know if that's a narcissistic trait, but listen
Yeah.
to um, this quote. Oh my God, I'm gonna read you two quotes. I'm sorry that you've gotten me excited now. Okay,
Okay.
insiders say that Meghan has long conveyed that Hollywood is her domain. In virtual and in-person meetings with partners, she tends to talk over or recast Prince Harry's thoughts, sometimes while he is mid-sentence. Sources say, usually preceded by a touch to the arm or thigh. Now, Meg's lawyer, they say, sends a message to Variety saying that this seems like a calculated play into misogynistic characterizations of Meghan being bossy to her husband. Prince Harry also says this is categorically false. But that feels like a control thing, like the touch of the arm, the touch of the thigh. Her looking for the perfect picture or in her mind knowing what's right. So
Hmm.
without asking permission, she grabs this person's wheelchair and moves it so that they can execute the perfect picture.
Yeah.
Um, is that narcissistic or what?
She may not know that you're not supposed to do that, and she may be thinking she's helping. So a lot of times you deal, and in this case, we're not dealing with the smartest person in the world. We know that from all the things we've seen. Seriously, she's not.
Yeah.
She's nice and she's smart. And I mean, fairly, she can get along in the world by herself. But she doesn't know those things, all the intricacies of society, of the social norms and things you should and shouldn't do. She doesn't know those, even
Yeah.
though she is a Duchess of, or was it Sussex?
All the things. She's the
Yeah,
Duchess. She's the
yeah.
Duchess.
So yeah, she doesn't know all that stuff. And every time she goes out, we see more stuff like this that shows she doesn't even have the background to be what she says she is. And what does her letterhead say? It says your not
HRH, Her Royal
Her
Highness.
Royal Highness. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna get me some of that. I'm gonna get me some of those. What
His
would I
Royal
call me?
Highness, Scott Rouse, His
Yeah,
Royal
that's what it'd be.
Highness.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
this is kind of unrelated to what we're talking about, but I know you'll get tickled by this anyway, so I'm going to share this part of the Variety interview with you too, because this is like our world, right? Zoom. Meghan also had odd methods of providing feedback. According to three sources, this is about her relationship with Netflix. She was known to disappear for long periods during Zoom calls. The sources say, later, Netflix teams, like the marketing department, would be informed that her absence was due to her being offended by something that was said. So she just like log off.
Uh,
Now,
okay.
to be fair, Megan's team argues that sometimes the kids would come in the room and she would be distracted by the kids and she didn't want to distract the team by the kids. But I also know, like, from my sources, that she has multiple nannies and those people would no longer be employed if the kids burst into the room during a high profile Netflix Zoom call when millions of dollars are on the line. You know what I mean?
This is gonna sound terrible.
I can't wait.
May-
I'm waiting.
Maybe she's got like IBS or something.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
irritable bowel syndrome, the Meghan
yeah,
Markle
maybe
story.
maybe something like that. You never know, because that's pretty rude. You don't do that. You
She
know,
do. She do. Meghan Markle does. I mean,
that's
I
too
can
bad.
see it. I can see it, but I also thought it was clever that they pulled the mom card and they're like, she has two young children, blah, blah, blah. I'm not buying it. I mean, we had three different sources say that she was signing off in a dramatic fashion, and then someone would be reprimanded afterwards because they didn't like something she was said. I trust the three sources that talked to Variety. I
Yeah,
trust that Variety's fact checkers and lawyers were confident in that their sources, and that's why it made it to print. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. That's what bugs me about that whole having a kid thing with her having kids. She
Yeah.
says, she takes them to school. I don't think she takes them to school.
No.
She sounds
You
like she drives them to school.
When we watched Jamie Kern Lima, you said that you felt deception in that statement.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's full of it. But she's trying to make us think she's this perfect woman. You
Well,
know.
there's been since like officially losing one of her last publicists that we all covered,
Hmm.
there has been a hard shift to family and motherhood. And I have felt like that was intentional to try to change public perception to be kinder and friendlier towards her. which you see that in Hollywood all the time.
Yeah.
Well, you see that specifically, and Maureen Callahan brought this up to me this week with Blake Lively. Blake Lively's trying to be like, "Well, I'm just a mom now." And it's like, "Are you? Because just you're ruining Justin Baldoni's life. So are you just a mom
Yeah.
or are you a
Oh,
bulldozer?"
maybe she's trying to get ahead of this whole thing where they're going to pull her ID or her whatever it is you call it. Instead of being the Duchess of
Oh yeah,
Sussex, she's going
pulling
to be
her
just Meghan
title.
Markle.
Let's jump into another video from this Invictus in Canada, where Tom Bauer visited, and a lot of his research comes from. This is Megan showing her arts and crafts side as she helps children of the Invictus Games competitors in Vancouver. It's a wholesome session of coloring and reading, but if you read the comments on this video, a lot of negative feedback around how uncomfortable she looks around children. There's also like, she keeps grabbing supplies, but she doesn't do anything with them. What was your take when you watched this? Like, she does want positive coverage with children. You see her pursue children no matter where they go. I
Yeah.
remember her holding a child's hand around Colombia or Nigeria one. But it's because she wants that Princess Diana comparison. But I don't feel, and we look at a lot of video of Catherine, the Princess of Wales, I don't feel like this is a real comfort zone for her. We just saw her at an LA hospital wearing a mask in all of the photos. Like, ew,
Yeah.
I don't want your germs. Like, do you get any ick from watching the video of Megan with kids, or do you not believe she's comfortable in this scenario? What is your takeaway body language wise?
When I'm looking at things, what I'm looking for are things that are missing, things that should be there that aren't there. And when you're dealing with children, it's, anytime you see a kid, if you don't get the giggles,
Yeah.
then something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
When she smiles, it goes away really quickly. It's like she snaps.
Artificial.
Yeah, it snaps on and then it snaps off. Now, when you really smile, it comes on, you can see it happening. And when it goes away, it morphs into whatever your other face is, your resting face, whatever. She doesn't do that. She goes from a smile, it goes off. It's like, and then it goes off. Watch her when she's turning from that one little child. I don't know if it's a giant crayon or whatever she's doing, but when she's dealing with that little child over there, when she looks over this way, watch how fast her smile disappears and it totally goes away. And if
Yeah.
you watch Catherine, she moves very slowly. She's very feminine. She's doing the girl things, let you know she's feminine. She's looking right in the little kids' faces, and the kids are like into her. The kids here aren't really even looking at her, at Megan, you know?
And
So
does
that's kind of
the
odd.
is the grabbing multiple arts and crafts supplies and then like putting them down or twisting them or fondling them for a second and then putting them down, is that anxiousness? Is that anxiety? Like, why not execute? Why not be like, I'll just draw a picture of a flower?
She probably doesn't know what to do. That's what
Yeah.
goes back to what I was saying earlier. She doesn't know how to execute this situation. Well, no problem. Put her in the middle of a bunch of kids. They'll love her. She'll love them. It'll be great. That's what the thinking is. But
Hmm.
when you go in and execute that, she doesn't know how to do it. She's not comfortable around little kids like
Yeah.
that. And the kids aren't comfortable around her. If little kids don't like somebody or dogs, man, look out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Also, like, trust that judgment. Trust
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Trust that
Seriously.
judgment. That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting video because she just seems so frazzled and out of place. Um, Now, this video makes me incredibly annoyed and uncomfortable because, and Tom Bauer actually writes about this in his book. Um, so it's Prince Harry and Meghan. They're attending the opening ceremony of the 2025 Invictus Games. This is in February 8th, 2025 in Vancouver. There are all of these people that are like missing limbs, that have had severe trauma, that have worked for months and years for this moment where they're competing for their country. And I imagine that takes incredible amounts of courage to like, work yourself up to do something like this. And there's Harry and Meghan on a golf cart, and people are like chanting Harry, Harry. And you know what? It's okay if that moment happened. But
Mhm.
Meghan having to post it on Instagram and you knowing that like these people don't get the VIP lift on the golf cart all over the venue and they have injuries and there's
Mhm.
Harry and Meghan just like they're in a Mardi Gras parade. I mean, it kind of made my skin crawl. Am I just being a jerk?
No, it makes you uncomfortable because you're seeing her what's called extra face. When somebody knows they're being filmed or they're having their picture taken, but they're not the star of the photo or the video or whatever, then they'll sit around like this. They'll be like, and it's just this odd smile. And then she has her show face. And
Yeah.
that's the one you're seeing on there. It's a combination of extra face and her show face. She's trying to pretend like we're just doing this. Look at these people. I don't know I'm being videoed. Watch
Yeah.
these people. Listen, honey,
All
and
these
put her
people
hand
love
on
me,
them.
and thank God someone got it on camera.
Yeah, and notice how she keeps grabbing him to make
Yeah.
sure she's connected to him because she knows he's the only reason she has any fame at all. It's
Mhm.
because of him.
Mhm.
That's her ticket right there. So she's hanging on to him. So that's the uncomfortable part is people see that and they see this fake facial expression that's supposed to be a real smile, but it's not. And it sounds odd. And the thing is, here's what after watching all your stuff and watching these videos and reading a lot, I read the comments. I'll just tell you, I go and read comments. So most of the people in there are women. And what goes on with women, I've talked about this before, their brain takes in information differently than men's brains take in information. Women have this thing called women's intuition, the most powerful thing in the world. Guys have what we call gut feeling. And that's why we think we know everything. And women see these things because your brain takes in information like this. They have this thing right in here called the fusiform gyrus, and it takes in all the little movements the way he does when you're talking to him, when you see him across the room or on TV or whatever. And you have another little section of your brain right down here, about an inch in, and that's another part that takes in the larger movements like that. You know, you see the big movements like a plane going by, an arm going up, those kind of things. And women's brains grab all that information and that sends it back to this thing in the back here, the base of this, the brain called the locus ceruleus, right? So when it gets back to the locus ceruleus, it starts, in other words, sifting through all these things, saying, "Where have I seen this before? What does that look like compared to what I've seen before? Well, this hurt me. Is this somebody who's good? Is this somebody who's bad in my experience?" All those things. Whereas men see that stuff, we see information. It goes up, throw it back there. We go, "Oh, here's what's happening." That's why women wait so long before they'll say, "I don't like that guy." And you'll go, "Why not?" And they go, "I don't know. Something's not right." And sure enough, 99% of the time, something will be wrong with that guy or that girl or whoever they're talking about. Something will end up being wrong with that person. That's not good for that situation or that person in there. So what's happening is women are seeing this on her and him as well and going, "Something's not right about here. I don't know what it is yet." And because you'll notice in the comments, people comment about things they've seen 3 or 4 shows of years back.
Mhm.
That's when they'll say, "Well, I remember when she did whatever," but they won't specifically comment on what they're saying, the specifics of the action you're seeing in the video of say this one. But they'll talk about another video a couple of videos back, and then they'll talk about this one or after another couple of videos have gone along because got all that in their brain, gotten
Oh,
all
so
that, and
you're
they're
saying
sifting through it all.
they like they have enough evidence in their head to come to a conclusion. Is
Yeah,
that what you're
yeah,
saying?
yeah. And their brain goes, "Something's not right here." That's why they go, "I don't like her," and they don't know exactly why yet, but they figure out why later on. It
Hmm.
may be when they're in the shower, it could be driving, somewhere your brain is just sitting there by itself and
It
you're focused
puts
on
two and
something
two
else.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
So
I, you said
that's why
something.
people don't like her.
You said something else that made me think I did not do a good enough job a second ago. Let me ask you this follow-up question about the Tom Bauer comments, because I know we've seen Harry and Meghan talk where she
Hmm.
touches his arm or she touches his leg and it's really just a shut up motion. Is
Hmm.
that what that is? Is that shut up? Or like how do you translate that description in I'm sorry, it wasn't the Tom Bauer, it was the Variety article about how in the middle of meetings Meghan is the expert, so she will cut Harry off or completely change the meaning of what he's saying. And in the process, she touches his arm or she touches his leg. From a body language point of view, is that simply shut the hell up or what?
That's
Or is she trying to delicately be like, babe, I got this?
Well, it's give me the intention. That's when you take you make that person, you don't shut them down, but you're like, "Okay, here, I'm going to say something now." Even though they're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
They'll put
And
their
she
hand
does
on
that.
him.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
she'll put her hand on him or on his back or on his arm, and then he kind of backs up like, "What?" And she'll start talking about something, or she wants his attention. The hardcore clinical narcissist can't stand it when somebody else is getting all the attention. Even
Yeah.
though she's getting a lot of attention from that, all the cameras are pointed on both of them. He's the one talking, so he's the one getting the attention. She has to be even and equal with him. She can't be below him. She has to be right there with him, or it doesn't count. She
Mhm.
had everything. Think about it. She had every father's dream for their child is for the little girls to be a princess. You know what I mean? It's my little princess. And she had that. And then, in its face,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
what in its face.
Although
And
she would tell you she's still a princess today because Delusion sells, I guess. Delusion is a happy place
does
to
she
live.
really say that?
Yeah, well, she said, what was it? Maybe it was on in the Bloomberg interview, but she says somewhere, she's like, I've been a princess, I've been a duchess, I've been a waitress, I've been an actress. It's like, get out of here. So yeah, I mean,
Oh,
and she does still refer to herself as the Duchess for sure.
oh, that's too bad.
It is too bad, right? God,
Wow.
we say, what we say in the South? God bless you. Or no, what do they say?
Yeah.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart
Bless
is
your
what we
heart.
say. Bless
Bless
your
your,
heart.
bless your heart. Oh, yeah.
Now, one thing that really stood out to me is Harry's opening speech, and I'll tell you why. Like, we don't talk very much about Harry's confidence. I feel like when we are talking about Prince Harry, we're usually talking about some little ticks he has and how he doesn't feel like he's a real authority on the subject. But I sent you this video of the opening statement, and man, does he have some swag. Like, it really feels like Invictus is where he shines, he flourishes, he really knows the ins and outs, and he is the most confident. Did you have a similar feeling when you watched the video of his opening statement?
I saw the same thing I saw when he was giving that talk where Megan gave talked for a while, then he came in and talked for a while. The same things when he's giving a public a speech or whatever, and he's walking around the stage or wherever he's walking around, same thing, same cues
Oh,
we
so
see
you're
every
saying that
time.
you do still see some ticks and stuff. I didn't,
Oh, it's all there. All of it's there. All of
I
the
guess,
classics. Classic.
wow.
Pulling up
Okay.
his pants. He
Yeah.
does that thing when he's walking. He does that leg kick out when he's walking. That's
Hmm.
a big one. He does a lip chewing thing. He's got his hand in his pocket. He's got his heel cocked back when he talks sometimes. He starts using platitudes, talking about the world, all these things that really sound really impressive, but they mean nothing at
Zero.
all. Yeah. But if you look at him, well, I see what he's talking about, but he's trying to appeal to everyone, and everything he says is supposed to be this deep, and he's not a deep guy. He's not. I'm telling you, he's not. But so that's what it is, and it's um, some of the things he says when he says, "And we thank you," in that space. Who's we? Is he talking
Mhm.
about he and Megan? Is he talking about the royal we?
Invictus,
Yeah.
Invictus, yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
who's the we in that? That's what I want to know. So
Interesting. It
at
is
the end,
so,
he
so
does that classic
let me
back
tell
and
you
forth.
something. Like I have said, I remember thinking about this in a newsroom in 2018 or 2019. I had a coworker that always said I. And I never wanted to say I. I wanted it to be
Mm,
we, like me as my newsroom, we as in the viewer and myself.
mhm.
So I wonder if that could be where his head is at, because again, I believe no, it's not the Variety interview. It's one of Tom Bauer's new revelations in Betrayal. He talks about how Meghan is invited to the UK to accept an award, and she was supposed to be speaking on like the selfishness, the selflessness of certain volunteers, and she mentions I like 50 times, and she makes the speech about herself.
Yeah.
I'm very aware of that. Like I'm aware when I'm watching someone and it feels like they're having a moment, like and they're taking advantage of the opportunity. Maybe opposites attract. What if he is aware of things like that and he's saying we because he doesn't want to look like
No, he's saying
his
we because
wife?
he didn't write that. He didn't write
Ah,
that. Somebody else wrote. He has somebody writing
well,
this.
yeah,
He
you're
didn't
right.
talk
I
that
mean, you're
way.
100% right about that.
I haven't heard him talk a lot at length, but when I have heard him talk conversationally, he doesn't talk like that. He doesn't use those words.
Mm.
His words, he'll group together words, larger words, trying to look and sound smart and try to sound like he's important, and they'll all be in one little batch. In other words,
They're over like to the point where you're like, this doesn't even make sense what you just said.
yeah,
You're just trying to use these words that you must have learned last
yeah.
week.
And then he'll connect them with these shorter words, with these shorter sentences, and then go on to the next batch, which is another group of words like that, which are all these concepts or thoughts as a whole. See what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he'll say whatever this big concept is, and he'll scooch over here, use, work his way over here with the smaller words, and he'll talk about this other concept he's got. But these things are set up by the person who has taught him how to speak because he was trained how to speak.
Oh
He does
yeah,
all the things that show he's a trained speaker. And somebody writes his stuff for him. He's not writing that.
so
He didn't
true.
talk like that.
Okay, so I guess my question is, I saw a lot more confidence, but you said you felt like you saw similar body language that, to the keeping kids off social media chat in New York that we covered together. Is it fair to say you saw a little bit more confidence when it comes to Invictus? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I guess what I saw was that this is where he belongs. This is where he might actually be an authority, or is he just are you just seeing the same guy? And I'm trying, maybe I'm trying to see something that's not there.
What you're seeing is him doing everything slower. Like if
Hmm.
he's giving a speech, he just knocks it out. Dang, dang, dang. And it looks a little odd after a while. You come out and you have confidence, but then that confidence wanes some. So you start making quicker moves and he starts doing the kick more and starts pulling his jacket together and adjusting his time more and gets his hand in his pocket more. Here he's slower because we know that from studies and all that, the person who is in charge is the one who moves the least. So he's up there, he has to move around because he's in a situation where he has to talk to everyone and move around, but he's doing it slowly. Now that's what you do in that situation. Comedians are the same way when they do it in the round. And when they have to, and musicians as well, when they have to deal with everybody in the round, they move slower because the one in charge is the one who moves the least. So he's moving slower, not because he doesn't think those people can follow what he's saying or anything, but that's what you do because I
He's the
talk really
boss.
fast.
He's the
Yeah,
boss-ish.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I talk really fast. I run over my words and all that, but I'm not sitting here trying to be all, you know, I'm the guy in charge, know all about royalty and all that. So he's because if I start all of a sudden, Kinsey, saying your name a lot and talking slower and pausing when I was talking to you between words, and then I kept talking some more. And then I would look away and think about some other things. And like I was thinking about him, that's what he's doing. He's executing this protocol that
Yeah.
makes it like you know what you're talking about and you're the alpha.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool. That's so cool to know that.
Yeah.
Why can he only execute that during certain times? Because he is confident, because he is in charge of Invictus and he knows he can get, like, he's the boss. Like, he can get away with whatever he wants there.
It's probably important for him to be doing that, to look that part. He
Hmm.
knows it is. He's probably on the impression these people look up to him. So he's got to be the alpha in that situation. Usually he's just the
Megan's
famous
plus
person there.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like the famous person there. Here, he's supposed to know what they've been through, trying to respect it, trying to have respect for it. And you have to show that. You know, I
Hmm.
don't know what his service actually was or what he did.
Two
You
years in Afghanistan, but can I ask you, do you get the sense that he really does care about this and he really wants to be there and this is important to him? I mean, I don't know if you can even read that from that video I sent you, but I kind of do.
Well, you're probably right because women see things. You get a lot more information than I do, even though for what I do for a living, you get more information than I do much quicker, and you get a whole lot more of it. You get in these big chunks and
I
hunks.
love when you were like, yeah, women are smarter. They're the coolest people. I'm like,
Don't you all run the world?
this is
It's
why I talk to
true.
Scott Rouse. I just do it just so I can walk away feeling like the superior sex.
I'm telling you, you all, and most women have no idea how in charge they are.
Yeah.
It blows my
Well,
mind.
let me tell you what Megan does.
Yeah, well, she's figured it out. I think you nailed it. We could end the whole show right there.
Well, we don't
Yeah.
have any more footage, so we're gonna
Oh,
have to. But
okay.
your takeaway from the Invictus footage is what? Do you think? Because this is something that they're doing annually. I'm gonna tell you, like, this is Harry's only legitimate outlet. Like the book, it's done, but the book was, very salacious. Like he goes after his family.
Mhm.
They've lost their Netflix deal. Harry didn't, he gave Spotify zero effort. And so I think that if he has anything left that could potentially be a positive, lasting legacy, it would be the Invictus Games. And Tom Bowers basically saying it's all smoke and mirrors, or it could potentially one day be all smoke and mirrors. What is your takeaway from those videos? Are they giving it 100%? Are they trying to make it look like, they're all in?
Yeah, I think some people are. I think they are. I think they're all in.
Yeah.
I mean, the only one that bothers me, of course, is everyone else is Megan because
Yeah.
it's just a show for her. It's all the same
The
show
Meghan
every day.
show to quote Tom
Yeah,
Bauer, the Meghan show.
yeah.
And I had this conversation with Paula Froelich this week about, you know, we really should be focusing on the unique stories of how production works. They could talk to each competitor and find the person that has the story that will pull out your heartstrings. We
Hmm.
should be learning more about these individuals, and we could be learning more. Harry should have done a Spotify podcast about some of these characters, and we could have met different people all the time. But every day you're getting a text message or an email about what Megan's wearing, what designer she's
Uh,
got on, what piece of Princess Diana's jewelry she happens to be wearing that day. And yeah, it does take away from the competitors. It does take away from the heart and the core of the
yeah,
competition.
yeah. I agree. I agree. And when you're having to sit, look how red my face is. I turned the heater up too high,
Oh
and
no.
it's like
Well, how's
an
Hattie? We're
oven in
more
here.
worried about Hattie
Oh,
than you.
she's fine. She's
Okay, as
fine.
long as Hattie's not having a heat
She's
stroke, we're
good, but
okay.
man, it's like an oven in here. I didn't realize. It's like it's cold there. I think I turned the heat up because it's
Well,
like 30 degrees out. Where? How cold is it there? What do you got?
it's chilly. I've got my big old trench coat on. I don't know how cold it is though. I just know that I'm pretty chilly myself.
Alexa, what's the temperature in New York?
This guy. Right now in New York, it's 36 degrees Fahrenheit.
Did you hear that?
I know. I love it. I love how cold it
It's going
is.
to get 30. It's 36 and it's going to be 30.
What a
So it's going to be
thrill.
freezing. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
well, I think that this is a pretty solid conversation about their behavior at Invictus. We'll have to cover Invictus 2020. Well, there's a preview in July, I believe, this summer, and we don't know if Megan will go there, but I suspect that she might because she needs that royal proximity. So we'll have plenty to cover soon. And then next month, not only might we have King Charles with Trump in Washington, D.C., but, oh, and you know what video we have to cover next week?
But
Prince William did a charity bicycle ride tandem on the back of some guy's bicycle and surprised him. Is that not so funny?
oh wow, that'd be
And they
good.
raised $1 million. So we'll watch some video of
Oh,
that because it's so sweet to see Prince William tell him you raised $1 million.
aren't they in Australia now or something? Meghan and
Harry and
Harry?
Meghan will be in Australia in April. And
Oh,
so
April.
we're going to cover that as well. We'll get plenty of footage from there. And then in April as well, again, Charles and Trump, the King and Trump, that could be really fun to dissect.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot coming our way. We better
Good.
nap.
Good.
We need to turn the heat
Look
down.
at him. Look at me. I look like look how my face is all red. Oh my Lord.
Well, we're gonna give Scott a break. He's gonna go stick his head in the freezer or just out the front
I'm gonna
door.
step outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree with us, disagree with us, let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Also, please go subscribe to Scott Rouse on YouTube as well as the Behavior Panel. I heard a rumor that they shot a new episode today. I don't know if I was supposed to say anything about it, but
Yeah.
new, fresh content coming your way from the Behavior Panel, my favorite boy band of all time. I don't need New Kids on the Block. I don't need NSYNC because I have the Behavior Panel. But make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Thanks so much for watching. And also make sure you buy Tom Bauer's book, Betrayal, March 26th, because we will be covering it in great detail, and poor Scott will have to hear about it up and down. Thanks, guys. We'll see you again soon. Bye.